All right, so at this point, you've already gone through the setup process and you have Concept Magic installed. You can see it right here in the side panel. Now let's take things a step further. In this section, we're going to go deeper and look at real-world ways to actually speed up your Blender workflow using this add-on. Quick reminder though, Concept Magic isn't here to replace you. Think of it more as your co-pilot. Great designs come from iteration, and designers know this. You start with an idea, you generate some images, and then you keep iterating. You generate images in Concept Magic, and then you iterate on that process. Iteration is where a lot of your design time is spent, and the whole point of Concept Magic is to help you get through that faster. So that's what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through a few different ways you can use Concept Magic to help iterate on your design, all the way from rough blocking things out to setting up and lighting a final scene. Okay, so say you're designing something. In our case, we're going to design this kind of sci-fi snowmobile thing. It's some sort of snow transport that might show up in a sci-fi movie or scene. This is a very simple object. The whole point of this exercise is to block something out with the proportions you like, and then we'll use Concept Magic to refine it, pretty much like an industrial designer would. So we'll go back to this view and load the viewport into Concept Magic. Now we need a prompt. Our prompt is going to be sci-fi snow transport vehicle sketch with lots of details. Add details to the crawler tracks, soften the form, and add a roof rack. Now we'll go into the concept generation section, injector libraries, and we're going to use the industrial design marker sketch. I also want to select the block out interpretation since this is a blocked out form. Let's hit the generate button. And here's what we get. This is one design that I kind of like. By the way, if you want to dismiss these results, just hit the escape button and you'll kick right out. Let's go back. Now let's try a different AI engine. We'll use Nano Banana here. This interface is where you select the AI engine you're using. Notice the generate button is dimmed, and that's because we need an input image. This area here shows the output image. So I'm going to refresh this to load our input image from before. Now we have the input image ready and we can hit generate again. And here's the Nano Banana version of the design. I like this one as well. So you might be wondering, why are we using this sketchy concept style instead of generating something photorealistic? And the reason is simple. At this stage, we don't want to get lost in the details. We're not worried about color, material, or finish right now, besides what's known as CMF. What we care about is the overall form and how the different shapes relate to each other proportionally. We want to know if this is something worth pursuing. And actually, I like this concept more than the previous one, so we're going to go with it. Now what I want to do is create some different views of this concept, specifically a side view and a front view. We'll import those into Blender and place them around our blockout model so we can start sculpting the actual shape based on these reference views. Right now it says we need to choose an input image, but we can't because this is currently set as an output. So I'll click this button to make it our input. Now I can go into concept generation and I want to use the Nano Banana side preset. The name Nano Banana tells us we're using the AI engine for this. Let's go ahead and select Nano Banana side with graphic and we'll generate that. Here's our side view. You can see that it's not absolutely perfect, but it's good enough. It gives us something solid to work with. I'll escape out of this now. Now let's generate a front view. I'll select the front view preset and hit generate. And there's our front view. One of the things I like about it is the proportions that were laid out here match nicely with what we're going for. With the front and side views, you really only need 2 views for something like this. You don't need a third view unless you want to see details on the top, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So the next step is to actually import these images into Blender and align them with our model. Now we've got our model here and our generated images, and we're going to set them up as references for modeling. First, I'll switch into orthographic view, then hold Alt and navigate to the side view. That's where we'll start. Before we grab those images, let me show you where they're saved. If we open the autosave folder and look at our preferences, you'll see the autosave settings down here. Autosave is enabled by default and it saves as PNG, but I use JPEG because it saves a lot of disk space. PNG is better if you're doing production work or creating posters, but JPEG works great for our purposes. This is also where you can see the save location. It defaults to your documents folder, but you can change it to whatever you want. When I open this autosave folder, here are all the images we just rendered. Now I'm going to come into the viewport, press Shift+A, and add a reference image. I'll navigate to that autosave folder and grab the side view since we're currently in the side view. I'll click the transparency toggle so I can see through it, move it up to align with the model, then press S to scale it to roughly the right size. Just nudge it into position, something like this. And that's our side reference done. Now let's do the front. I'll switch to the front view, press Shift+A, add another reference image, and grab the front view this time. I'll move it up and scale it so it matches the proportions. Now let me check both views together in perspective to see if we're getting close. We might need to nudge the front reference up a little bit. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Maybe scale it down just a touch. So now we have our two reference views set up. These two views give us everything we need to start modeling the actual vehicle shape. The side view and front view together define the proportions from every angle that matters. The purpose of this isn't to get into a full modeling discussion. It's to show you how quickly we can go from a basic blockout and an idea to something we can actually start building on. And that's exactly where we are now. All right, so here's the model I built. It's a little snowmobile, a tracked vehicle. Let's jump into Concept Magic and set up the textures and materials for this thing. We'll use the same prompt A, texture, and materials. For the description, I'll type Universal Vehicle CMF. I'll use seeding on this one and hit Generate. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm not crazy about this one though. Let's go back and try a different seed. This time we'll use Netta Banana as the seed. That's a little more interesting. I'm going to keep trying a few more. Yeah, I like that one a lot more. Let's go ahead and stick with this result, but we'll use it as our base for adding textures to this object. All right, so we've got our object fully textured and ready to go. Now it's time to place it into an environment. To do that, we're going to use something called Style Injector Libraries. If I click on this little eyeball icon here, it opens up a full panel showing all the different style injectors available for this library. Each one represents a different environment or look you can apply to your object. So here's an alien desert with floating rocks. Here's a Blade Runner style. This one is a Geiger biomechanical corridor. Here's another Blade Runner, a different cityscape variation. And this one is a Tron Hollow City with those glowing neon wireframes. Now there are two things to pay attention to here. First is the overall look you're going for, but just as important is what you're starting with. In this case, we're starting with a fully textured object. You can hit Escape or the close button to get out of this view. Now, other libraries work a little differently. If you look at concept generation, you'll see that some start with a rendered object and turn it into a marker sketch. Others start with just a plain object and generate multi-view outputs like front views and side views. Let's check out one more. We'll open the Props and Scene Details library and take a look at what's available here. For something like an animal cutout, you want to start with a very plain box. Same thing for a human cutout, like a 3/4 view. You start with a box and then in your prompt, you describe what you want. Something like a woman standing in a dress, or a man in a t-shirt and blue jeans. That's the key thing to keep in mind. These previews are really important, and where you start makes all the difference. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to go in here and choose from the themed renders. I'll pick this futuristic Arctic environment extension, James Bond style. And for the model, I'm going to use Nana Banana. We're just going to generate this. It'll create an image for us in just a few seconds. And here it is. Let's take a look. So it's a nice image, except there are no textures. And why is that? Well, if we go back to our preview, this is what we were using. In this particular case, we want to load it with the fully rendered version instead. Now let's generate again. This time with the fully rendered colored input image, and we can see that's much better. That's a great image to work with. Now another thing we can do is use this output to help generate other images. If I turn this off, it becomes our input. And with that as our input, I'm going to go under Camera and Composition. Let's look at these options. You'll see we've got Bird's Eye View, Detroit Industrial Hero Perspective. I like that one. Let's try it. For this, I'm going to use Sea Dream because Nana Banana tries to maintain the camera angle and we don't want that right now. Let's generate using this previous rendered image. We're going to create a Detroit Low Horizon Line Perspective. Make sure Detroit Industrial Hero Perspective is selected and then we'll hit Generate. And now you can see we have our vehicle, but with that low telephoto perspective. That's the Detroit Industrial Hero look right there. Let's try one more. Let's do a tilted horizon. That's another Sea Dream generation. We'll hit Generate. And there's our tilted horizon. You can see how that works. A couple of points to make. If you're having problems with projections, definitely hit us up on Discord. We'll help explain them to you. And if you're running through a lot of credits trying to get something that's not working, we'll refund you some credits so you can actually be productive. The other thing is, if you want to create your own injector libraries, you can do that. There's a place right here where you can load them in. I'm going to have a video on that in the not too distant future. But if you're interested in creating them, whether selling them or giving them away for free, contact me. I can give you some free credits to start exploring. That would be helpful for everybody. Anyway, that's about it for now. There'll be more videos coming up showing you how to use concept magic in your concept design workflows. Great to see you. I'll see you online. Bye.